John Beltran, Dave Urich back from Legion Field, where the Mustangs went 78 yards, and they did it on just 5 plays in a minute and 55 seconds. 3-yard pass from Garrett Pate to Andrew Rebold. And their prior drive was only 46 seconds. And to kick it off once again is going to be Zach Green for Fort Morgan. He boots that football. Low-line drive. It's going to bounce a few times. And Rosenbrock drops it at the 17, pitches it back up. He's got a seam across the 35 to the 40. Breaks it into the 50. Down the right side over the 40. He's going to outrace the entire Fort Morgan team. And after a miss, it's a touchdown. Joe Rosenbrock goes 83 yards after mishandling the football. And the Beat Diggers are back in the game. It's 14-6. Holy mahungus.
You know, that happens sometimes. You drop the ball a little bit. It makes the coverage outrun the kick to some extent. And then nobody really has a good gauge on where he's running. They can't take the right angle. Rosenbrock ran right up the middle. He only got touched one time, but he's a strong runner, and they tried to make a tackle on him. He broke the tackle and then showed some speed as he ran away from everybody. Fort Morgan didn't have a guy on the field on the kickoff that could keep up with him.
And let me tell you, he didn't have to break much. He just went right through the middle, and then he hit that right sideline, and he was gone. Eric Garcia will hold Jacob Fector to attempt the extra point, and we know how big extra points are in these types of games. Special teams has been huge on both sides. It's down. The kick by Fector is up. He boots that football, and it is off to the left. 3:03 to go in the opening quarter. We'll keep it right here. And the Mustangs lead the Beat Diggers by a score of 14-6. Certainly both coaches are going to be addressing separate issues here when we get to halftime, even though we're not done with the first quarter.
Yeah, that's for sure. I know Coach Chisholm over there, you know, he's got to just keep his guys going. One thing Brush has got to do is they got to be ready for everything. They got to be ready for every trick in the bag because they're seeing it all tonight. And Brush is going to have to settle down and play football. They're used to a little bit more conventional sort of a game, and that's not what Fort Morgan's bringing. They're kind of ransacked them when they come in here tonight.
Well, here's another challenge, Dave. We saw the double handoff that resulted in a 71-yard kickoff return by Isaac Rodriguez, unofficially 71 yards. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. I won't even say it too loud. If the Beat Diggers try an onside kick or something different, or a squib at the very least, to prevent that trickery from happening here, with the Mustangs holding an 8-point lead, knowing what happened on the opening kickoff.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame them if they did, but I'll tell you what, Fort Morgan was good at it because the first kick, it went down there. It wasn't an in-over-in kick. It was kind of a spiral up-and-down kick that landed on the hash mark. It didn't even get back there that deep. And those 4 deep guys for Fort Morgan, they rallied together into a bunch and made those 2 handoffs and got all of it done right when the coverage was getting there.
Fector will kick it off. Once again, Rodriguez back there with a bevy of Mustangs, but it was Rodriguez that posed the biggest threat and that did the damage on the opening kickoff. Now Fector is going to kick it, I should say, high and fairly short. Now it's fielded by Moreno, and he will hand it off, and right up the middle is Devin DeRoche breaking at the 35-yard line, stiffs on the Beat Digger, but Jacob Fector threw him to the ground at the 39-yard line. Outstanding tackle by the kicker Fector, and that's where the Mustangs will start here.
Again, you know, what happens is the Brush kicked the ball way too short, and it was it was plenty high, but the kid caught it. He turned around, he had his back facing the Beat Diggers, and then he went through 3 different handoff opportunities, and he gave it off on the second handoff. So Brush really didn't know where it was going, and they didn't have a hand on the guy.
First and 10 for Fort Morgan at their own 38-yard line, leading 14-6 with 2:50 to go in the opening quarter. Backs in an eye. Pape to hand it off to DeRoche, running left, breaks out of a tackle, and then Joe Rosenbrock has him at around the 42-yard line. Lots of late contact there. And it's going to be a gain of close to 5. It'll be second down, and we'll call it a long 5 as the ball's just shy of the 43-yard line.
Rush did a pretty good job. I watched the defensive line that time. They had a good surge forward. They didn't give up a lot of ground up there on that line of scrimmage. But the Fort Morgan Mustangs were able to create a little bit of a seam, and DeRoche is a good enough running back. He knew right where that was and slipped right through there.
Matt Godo is in the backfield in front of DeRoche. Receiver split to the left and right. Pape on the play action, rolling right, pressure coming. That throw towards the sideline is complete to the 40-yard line, and Ian Moreno is dragged down at around the 33. C.J. Kukas makes the tackle, and it's a gain of 24 yards. Let me tell you, Pape is making some outstanding throws, Dave, because Connor Weiser had pressure on Garrett Pape, and it's like he wasn't even there.
He sure did. And Kukas, the coverage was there, but it wasn't completely there. The thing about the pattern is about a 10-yard out, and as soon as Moreno planted his left foot and headed towards the Fort Morgan sidelines, the ball was on the way. So it was just a great play.
This is why Fort Morgan is ranked number 1 by the Denver Post, an outstanding quarterback. Pape is going to hand it off on the right side to DeRoche, breaks out of a tackle at the 33, inside the 30 to the 29. Rosenbrock makes the tackle along with Tanner Morrow. It's a gain of 4. The Mustangs, of course, in their third year, coached by Harrison Chisholm in his third year. Greg Edson, Jim Queckemeyer, Mike Gross, Josh Langford, Jeff Peterson, Rick Call, Kyle Lorenz, and Paul Mendoza are the assistants. The Beatdiggers, coached by Randy Dreitz in his 10th year. The assistants, Ron Albo, Lance Schwint, Dick Creighton, Matt Manier, Ken Garcia, and David Cummings. 2nd down and 6 for the 29. Backs remain in an eye. Receivers off to the left and right. Pape, pass over the middle, tipped up incomplete, intended for Moreno at the 26-yard line, but it looked like Joe Rosenbrock and Kyle Muir anticipated that pass, and one of them got their paw in there.
Yeah, I think they were ready for that slant that time, and it was similar to that other slant that went for 44 yards right off the bat. But they were right there, and they made a good play on it, and all of them ended up popping Moreno a little bit. And you can bet Coach Dreitz is having those, and Coach Creighton, the defensive coordinator, is having those DBs make sure they get some shots in on those receivers and get them thinking twice about catching the football.
Trips to the left, including the tight end Andrew Rebold. One man out to the right. 3rd down and 6. It's Tanner Schaefer. Pape is rolling that way. Throwing over the middle. The pass is caught. 1st down inside the 20. Spinning there is Ian Moreno. It's good enough for a gain of 9 before the tackle is made by Tyson Larrick and a host of Beatdiggers, and the Fort Morgan drive continues deep in the Beatdigger territory.
You know, Pape's thrown for 112 yards already on 6 attempts. He's only had 1 incompletion.
Well, he's had men open, but he's also made some outstanding throws with 1:17 to go in the opening quarter from Legion Field. Keep in mind, we'll have Beatdigger replay coming up after this game, so you can tune into this game twice, live and on the replay right here on 1010 all season long. It's the 7th season of Beatdigger replay, not only on 1010, but on KSIR.com as well. It's 1st and 10 for the Mustangs as the clock will roll once again after the movement of the chains at the 20-yard line. Well, this passing game has been very effective so far, and that's why the Beatdigger defense has been challenged in many areas, and, of course, special teams has also been a factor. Pape on 1st and 10 will hand it off on the left side, and Devin DeRoche is thrown down beautifully. He might not have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, and that's because Dylan French at 6'3", 220 got his body in there, and we'll call it a loss of maybe half a yard. It'll be 2nd down and a long 10.
French came from the opposite side of the football to make the play on the opposite off-tackle slot. That shows how much hustle he's doing out there.
This could be the final play of the opening quarter as we are inside of 25 seconds. The Mustangs not yet up to the line on 2nd down and 10 with the ball just shy of the Beatdigger 20-yard line. Already a passing touchdown for Garrett Pape, a 3-yarder to Andrew Rebold, which at the time gave Fort Morgan a 14-0 lead. And there's the handoff, and looked like a draw play maybe, and the Beatdiggers throw down. That might be Godo for about a 2 or 3 yard loss back to the 23-yard line. It looked like a late handoff, maybe not a clear-cut draw, but it's a loss of 2, and there were 2 or 3 Beatdiggers in on the play, and that's the end of the opening quarter with the score. Fort Morgan 14, Brush 6 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.